Welcome to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm Grace Holland. Today, the U.S. Open returns to Pinehurst after a decade of building anticipation. WRAL has complete coverage of the tournament. On Wednesday's episode, Luis Fernandez gave us the lay of the land for the athletes. I'm now joined by Brett Kneese, who's at the course and has been covering all of the preparation for the last few days. On the fan side, Brett, thanks for being here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm happy to be reporting from Pinehurst this week.
Very cool, very cool. So what's it been like out there as we've been getting ready for day one?
Yeah, it's been incredible. I mean, the weather is inching upwards in terms of temperatures, but in terms of atmosphere, it's just such a great celebration of golf. It's the year's third major. Of course, golf has four majors, and it's the third of the four. And it really is the pinnacle of American golf, the U.S. Open. And what's so neat about it is that anybody can play. It's an open championship, meaning that anybody can go through that qualifying process and be here. And on top of that, anybody can come and enjoy it. And I've met people from all over the state of North Carolina, from all over the country, and even from outside of the country. I met a couple of people from Northern Ireland just yesterday.
Wow, that's really amazing to think about, all those people coming down to Pinehurst. And I know that the return of the U.S. Open to the course comes with a special milestone, too, because it's been 25 years since Payne Stewart won. For our non-golf fans or maybe folks who are newer to the area, who is he? Can you kind of tell us a little bit of his story?
Yeah, so Payne Stewart, what a special person he was. Sadly, he died after winning the U.S. Open 25 years ago. He won it, and then about 5 months later in October, he passed away in a tragic plane crash. But he has meant so much to this area because how iconic his win was 25 years ago at the 1999 U.S. Open. It was a gloomy, gross weather, cold for June week of golf, and he stood out amongst the crowd, and on a final putt, a 15-foot putt on the 18th green on the 72nd hole of the championship, he drains it and he wins by one. He does this iconic fist pump after winning, and he's wearing his iconic outfits. He has just this special aura about him. Anytime you go back and watch all of these history clips of just past golf tournaments that he has won, and it was his second U.S. Open win, and from there it really did catapult Pinehurst to another stratosphere. Pinehurst already was considered the cradle of American golf, and Payne's win, for some reason, there was just something so special about it that people gravitated towards. Perhaps just the aura that Payne gave off when he was playing in a golf tournament because of his iconic style. It's incredible that it's been 25 years since then.
Right. And I know you've got a special story that's airing on Thursday, and it kind of touches on the legend of him. So what has Stewart come to mean to this course?
Yeah, so much. He means so much. They have a statue of that fist pump that I mentioned that people can take pictures with. They actually moved it for the first time ever. It was always behind the 18th green on Pinehurst number 2. Of course, there's several courses out here at the Pinehurst Resort, but they play the U.S. Open on number 2. And his statue has moved over to where the fans enter through the main gate, so even more people can take their picture and have their moment with, the memory of Payne Stewart. And he really does just mean so much to this area because of what that win symbolized. And then, sadly, I think part of it is from, his passing, the tragic nature of his passing. Dying way too soon. I think that plays into the lore of and the legend of Payne Stewart, that he really did just mean so much. And part of what my story kind of navigates and explores on WRAL at 6 here on Thursday, it has to do with that signature style that he had. So he always wore these certain kind of pants that were almost like parachute-looking pants, and he had these stockings that always had some sort of style and color to them, but it just looked so iconic. Well, because it was so rainy that day, he had to wear a rain jacket, and he thought that this jacket he was wearing was too restrictive for his golf swing, so he goes into the pro shop and he says to these two ladies that are working behind the counter, I need to cut these sleeves off. And they look at him like, what are you talking about? And so sure enough, they give him a pair of scissors and he gets to cutting. And little did anyone know that hours later he would etch himself into history, winning his second U.S. Open. So tonight's story on WRAL at 6, we talked to those two women that were there inside that clubhouse that gave him that pair of scissors and helped him cut off his sleeve of that rain jacket 25 years ago.
That's awesome. And is there anything from your interview with them that just stands out in your mind?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, these two women, they are a riot. They are so much fun, and they are two of the closest friends you'd ever meet. And the one, she did say that she was kind of a smart aleck whenever Payne walked in and asked for a pair of scissors. He goes, I want a pair of scissors. And she goes, oh, what, do you need a haircut? But he was all business. You'll see in the piece that they describe every moment of that day in detail. It's really interesting.
All right. Well, let's take a quick break right there, and we're going to talk more about the fans when we come back. Brett, before the break, we were obviously talking about the legend of Payne Stewart and what that means to the course. And obviously, you mentioned that his statue is going to move to where, or has moved rather, to where more fans can be able to take a picture with it. So who are some of these fans that are going to be coming in for the Open?
Oh, they are golf fans from all over the world, all over the country. And a major championship is different than any other golf tournament, than just a regular golf tournament throughout the season. The majors are, these iconic moments throughout the season. They mean more. And so the fans that are here, they are some pretty hardcore fans. These are fans that know, who they're watching coming down, the fifth green or fifth fairway. They know their golf really well. And as I mentioned earlier, one from Northern Ireland, who they're here to see Rory McIlroy, who is a Northern Irishman, and they're hoping that he can win his fourth or fifth major. Rory hasn't won in years. So it's just all kinds of people. Families are here too. I think that's one of the coolest things about the USGA is they really make it a family-friendly affair, and there are kids everywhere. But these kids know this is a golf championship. They got to make sure that they stay quiet when players are hitting and all that kind of thing. But they have a cool setup at the putting green for the kids so that they get autographs. It's just a fun environment. There's going to be over 200,000 fans throughout the course of the week that will walk through the gates here at Pinehurst.
That's a lot of people, especially for the town of Pinehurst. So where are all these people staying?
It's incredible the amount of people that, descend on our little corner of the world for this golf championship. And there are pretty much two options for those that are coming to Pinehurst as a visitor. You're either staying in a hotel or you're staying in what's known as a short-term rental, houses, condos, different things that are scattered throughout Pinehurst, Southern Pines, and this part of North Carolina. But there's only about 4,500 hotel rooms in the Pinehurst, Southern Pines area. That's not even close to the number of hotel rooms that you would need for 200,000 people. So those short-term rentals are pretty essential to making sure that there is enough housing, enough inventory for people to stay in this area. And then, beyond that, if people are wanting maybe a little more affordable of a place to stay, more affordable hotels, there will be people that are staying as far away as Raleigh and Durham and beyond, just to be able to drive down to the U.S. Open on a daily basis. So it's really interesting. People are staying all over.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And for the people who are staying in these short-term rentals, I would imagine that's really exciting for the people that are renting them out.
Oh, absolutely. It is its own industry around here. I think what, people often think of, at least when I approached a story that we did on short-term rentals on Wednesday, when I did that story, I kind of only thought of the rental market as more tourist towns like beach towns. Right? Well, Pinehurst is a tourist area, and thanks to the USGA moving their headquarters here, the World Golf Hall of Fame coming back to Pinehurst, it is a tourist destination that is expanding beyond what it already was.
Now, I also have to talk about the weather here a little bit, because that's a big factor if you're going to be out on the green all day long or for several days. And our meteorologists are saying that this is going to be the hottest U.S. Open to date. So how is the course preparing to help keep people cool, and what can people do to stay cool?
Yeah, so it's going to be the hottest U.S. Open at Pinehurst. So Pinehurst has hosted several U.S. Opens, and they're going to host several more U.S. Opens. It's become an anchor site. It's going to be hotter than 2014. It's going to be hotter than 99, of course. I mean, 99 was when they were wearing rain jackets. It's going to be hot out here. I think they are forecasting for in the 90s on Friday, and the USGA has done a great job to set up fans and the players in such a way that the heat will be manageable. You're not going to be able to get rid of the heat. The sun's going to do what it's going to do, but they do have hydration stations scattered throughout the course that have these cool misting fans, and they also have water spigots that you can fill up your water, and they never end. They're hooked up to a water source so that you get filtered water straight from the tap rather than someone having to refill like a cooler, every hour or so. So the water, fortunately, should be never ending. And one change that the USGA made this year is you can bring your own water bottle. In the past, you weren't able to do that, but now you can. It has to be empty before you walk through the gates, but you can bring up to a 32-ounce water bottle and fill that up throughout the day.
And is there anything else that fans need to know once they get into the course?
I think what's so great about Pinehurst is set up in such a way. They've done this before. They know what they're doing, and they have signage everywhere. I'm standing on Maniac Hill right now, which is a really cool kind of center of the world for the golf world right now. I'm looking at a merchandise tent. I'm looking at a couple of club tents that you need special tickets for. But then I'm looking at other concession tents and different stores, different things like that. And there are grandstands everywhere, but there's signage everywhere. And there's plenty of workers, plenty of volunteers. I think there's over 2,000 volunteers that will be here throughout the week that will be helping anybody that is trying to find out where they need to go.
All right. Well, we look forward to seeing everything come together and seeing some great golf. Thank you so much, Brett. And thank you for listening to the WRAL Daily Download. Another great way to get WRAL news is the Morning Briefing newsletter. It's a daily email that's waiting in your inbox every morning with local news, events, and headlines to get you ready for the day. Sign up at WRAL.com/newsletter.